Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Please visit audiblepodcast.com/BADB for your free audio download. What's happening, Felicia Michaels, you dirty bitch?
Wow, Joey, we are fucking professional today.
We ain't fucking around. I got time for it. It's too hot out to be mincing words.
No, you are not. Usually you give me a moment to like set everything up.
Nah, there's no time. It's 100. I got in the car yesterday. I got in the car yesterday at 6 o'clock last night, and it was 124 degrees in my car. Yeah. By the time I got to Victory, it was 104. At 6 o'clock at night, guys, even the air conditioners are tapping the fuck out. They're like, by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they're like, listen, guy. I
did a lot of work today.
You hear like a little voice, like, you know.
Taking my vacation days.
Yeah.
What else is going on? What else have you been up to? What's going on in your world?
I've just been, I might be the silliest creature on the planet. It's a very good possibility because I took my kids out to Whittier to go look at a car, a Ford Falcon, a 1962. I get like crazy fucking ideas. I'm like, I'm going to get an old car. And then I went out to Whittier and then it didn't start. And my kids were like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And it was quite an adventure. That's it, you know.
You're losing it lately.
I am losing it. I am.
You know what those 67 fucking cars are? They're an investment from hell. That's what they are. They're an investment from hell. Because what are you going to do? You just look at it in your fucking garage.
It's 45 years old.
Yeah, and if you start it and it leaks oil, what about Rogan?
What's wrong with a 45-year-old?
The Barracuda?
The Barracuda, the fucking axle fell off on the 101. Don't fuck with those cars. You got a nice Mercedes wagon. Just deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Just deal with it. That old shit. What are you going to do when you got to change the oil? You had a hard time building a fucking ramp out there.
I built a fucking ramp out there, Joey. I'm capable. I built that skate ramp.
The thing about those 67 cars, those older cars, are that they're very easy. Everything's wide open. You can stick your arm in there, you know. But you don't have time. You don't have 10 hours a weekend to deal with the tire and the roof don't open.
Just take it to the mechanic.
Yeah, you know what they charge you? That's a 1967. What do you think? Nissan now, they take a fucking plug and put it in your fucking car, and it tells them what's wrong with your car. That's why it's a diagnostic. They don't have that in 1967. So it's $150. You got to find the fucking old guy from American Graffiti and dig him out from the fucking grave so he can work on your car. People don't know those cars no more. They're like specialty mechanics now, and they charge an arm and a leg because all these other manufacturers are just a fucking diagnostic. You get a car now, it tells you when... In 1967, you think your car told you needed a fucking oil change? No. Now it tells you to lie, and what does it say? Service engine?
Right.
Those motherfuckers know.
I know, but I have these fanciful ideas. Like when my kids learn how to drive, I want them to learn how to drive on a stick shift because then they can drive everything. Yeah, because I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Listen,
I drove on a stick shift. You don't have one?
No, Yeah, no, like no one knows how to drive a stick shift anymore.
They have a Voltec around here. They have a high-low class. Teach them how to fucking use a high-low so they can work in a warehouse in the summer. Never mind the stick shift, all right?
It is a crane.
Yeah,
I know,
how to use
but
a fucking
if you're
crane.
a man that can understand how to use a stick shift and make an engine purr, then you have skills.
Well, you know what? I don't know if you know this. Ford still makes a Mustang that's a stick shift.
Oh, really?
Honda, my Honda's a stick shift.
Really?
Yeah, it's a 2004.
Yeah,
you're still out there. They're still out there. You get yourself a brand new one. So when something happens, you just on-delay up to the shop. They on-delay your ass back in the shuttle, and there's no misunderstandings. You think when you on-delay your 1967 they're going to shuttle your car back or get you a rental or be all nice and let it go, all right? Yeah. I've never even seen you with a wrench in your fucking hand.
My brother borrowed my car for a year. I was gone in Israel my first year. He borrowed my car. I think it was a old Honda, and he was like, the brakes are making noise. And I was like, all right, let me see what it is. And he started up the car, and it would go shh, shh, shh. He was like, do you hear that? I'm like, how's that the brakes, Michael? If the car's you're not even on the brakes.
You're not even moving.
Yeah. And I go, when's the last time you changed the oil? And he goes, what do I do to it? And I was like, have you been driving this car for a year, and you haven't changed the oil or put any oil in there? And I went and checked the oil, and you know how it like shows you can go from here to here on the dipstick? There was a drop of oil on the very bottom of it. It was like touching the bottom, and that was it. Listen, nobody knows shit how to deal with cars.
Listen, when I first turned 16, I got my license, even though you have to be 17.
Really?
I couldn't wait to get a fucking car. I couldn't wait, Felicia. So the guys that were taking care of me after my mother died, he's like, Coco, if you see a car, you're like, let me know. I'll buy you a nice car. So I come home one day, I go, Mr. B, I seen the car I want. I want a 1973. No, it was a 1963 GT Mustang. All I wanted it for is because the stereo was rocking. I didn't know about engines. I didn't know about nothing. So the guy, Mr. Bender, goes, "This is what you want?" You know? I'm like, "Yeah." I think the kid wanted $2,300 or something at the time. It was a Type LT Camaro. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So he goes, "You know what? Let me take it to my mechanic, take it home for 3 days, and we'll let you know, and I'll buy it." It was, I don't know what it was. I remember after the first day, we turned that motherfucker around. Because you hear shit falling. You know, once you start doing 65, then another time I bought a car financed out of a fucking bank. And it's a used car, and I know it. Like, on the back of my mind, I'm like, I fucking hate this, but okay, I'll put up with it. And I bought this car, and I had it for like 2 months. It was like a Lincoln Continental, those 2-door, the long nose, with the fucking pimp thing on this thing.
I'm surprised you don't have one now.
I had a sunroof, and I had power windows, but only the front.
What year was this?
This is 82, but this car was probably from 75. And it had power windows, and it had the back windows, weren't the big windows, those little ones that go up. So one day I go into Harlem to cop a fucking bag. It had just snowed 12 fucking inches, and another 12 was coming. We better go over there now, pick up the fucking Coke, and we could party all night. Who gives a fuck how much it's gonna snow? I had the car maybe 3 months at this time. It was February of '83. It's freezing out in New York, I don't have to tell you. Rear wheel drive, I hit the fucking Henry Hudson, the car is spinning. The back is spinning. So my buddy smoked cigarettes, so he kept pressing that lighter in, you know, and all of a sudden you're like, zzz, zzz. I kept hearing zzz. Right? I'm like, what the fuck? We get to 143rd in Amsterdam. We park the fucking car. I go in. I get like 2 8-balls. I get like $20 worth of reefer. And I get back in the car. As I'm getting in, it's those New York snowflakes, those big ones that come off the Hudson. You have no fucking idea.
Sideways.
It's coming down. It's coming down. I get in the car. I'm like, let's get over. We got all of a sudden I hear zzz, zzz, zzz. Guys, the power windows started going up like this, and the back started going back and forth. I mean, it was fucking crazy. And all of a sudden, you just heard like zzz, 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 and you just heard you smelled a bunch of smoke.
Oh no!
It was coming. The electrical system sizzled. Guys, it was like maybe like a Friday afternoon. We walked up to Broadway. We took the A train down, and we went back over the city. We said, "Fuck it, we'll go back in a couple of days and get it." When I got back there a couple of days later, you know that chicken, the turkey on Thanksgiving, when you invite people over, too many people, and they destroy that bone. It wasn't even on the bricks. They had taken the rear suspension off. There was nothing left, just the front suspension. I didn't call the cops. I didn't report it stolen, nothing. I owed like $2,000 on it. I was making like $100, $120 payments. I never heard it. It's not on my fucking credit report. Nothing.
Wow.
And that's my lesson with old fucking cars, okay? That's why I can't stand them. I don't want them around me. The other day, Terry said, "Why don't you just buy a new car?" And I'm like, because then I own that motherfucker. And when you own a car, that's depreciation. Abe Lincoln said, you buy what appreciates, you fucking lease what depreciates. And as soon as anybody who's got a car knows, yeah, you always lease. Anytime you get that 36 months, that's when shit starts going bad. And those fucking charges add up because you don't have a warranty. You know, fucking Mercedes even now, or BMW, they give you fucking free oil changes for life with a car, for 3 years or something. You got to lease, guys. It's the only way to fucking go. You drive a new car every 2 fucking years. That's how Ford came back with the 2-year fucking lease. It's no drama. If you could, you breathe into the bottom of a glass, you get more car for the fucking money. You got a car for $300 that you usually have to pay $450 for.
If you get 2-year leases, they're great.
2-year leases are great. As soon as the shit start, even when the tires start fucking rolling, I need a new fucking car. And you don't have to even wait 2 years no more. They don't give a fuck. They'll get you out of there, in and out of there. They'll even give you a check. They've paid me for my overmiles, and Subaru's never charged me.
They pay you for them?
For the overmiles over the lease, because you have to. They pay you.
If you go under.
When you cut the deal for the new car, just go, well, what about the payment for the thing? And they'll cut you a check. Then you have to pay Subaru. Subaru's never fucking even hit us up for the money on the mileage. Get the lease, guys. Don't fuck around, all right? We're back, bitches! Felicia Michaels.
Joey Diaz.
We're even dropping fucking financial information.
Well, but it was a beautiful dream is all I gotta say.
Please, you have 2 nice boys. Forget about that shit.
Yeah.
My favorite fucking Jew is in the house. That's why we're talking about finances. My favorite of all fucking
You didn't even know why
it's you and Maya Lansky. You understand me? That's why I'm dropping finance.
That was kind of magical.
What's happening, Ari Shaffir, you long-legged motherfucker? Look at you.
I'm back in town.
I see that. I miss you.
I'm back.
You're back. You were in Montreal at the comedy festival.
Oh yeah, it was good this year.
Yeah, I heard you all were eating mushrooms, jumping up and
mushrooms
down.
are going around like crazy.
Like
it was
crazy.
So much fun.
What was your favorite part of Montreal?
that last night during that when the industry party is a Friday night, the night before the last night, and there were so many people on their side of the business that were just their pupils were as wide as they've ever been. I was like, these people are all tripping on mushrooms right now. It was great. Somebody said like as the less that festival becomes relevant, the more people are like, fuck it, let's just drink, let's just have a good time. It was cool. The whole time was cool.
That's what those things are for. To see
Yeah,
everybody
just have some fun, no pressure.
Get fucked up, embarrass yourself.
Yeah.
And where else were you after that? You were in New York.
Then I was in New York for 4 or 5 days. In New Jersey at the Stress Factory.
How was that? Stressful?
Stress Factory was okay. There was no records in session, so all the young girls I liked weren't there. They were all out.
How was the Saturday night show?
Saturday night show was good. Vinny was fun. They asked you about you on Opie and Anthony.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah, I mentioned you in passing or something. Like, oh, Joey Diaz, we haven't seen him forever. How's he doing? They're like, man, he tells a good story. Like, yeah, he does.
We're gonna get together soon and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you should.
What else? I see.
I love New York. I want to go. I want to be bi-coastal there.
I was just in New York. When you're in New York, it's the most awesomest thing on the planet. Like, I was on the subway, and all of a sudden, a bunch of kids started dancing and standing on their hands. In the subway.
Saw those guys, the black kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just started boombox up, and they're like, yeah.
It was so cool.
I gave them $1.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm nervous they're gonna mug me for the rest, but here we go.
It was cool. I'm glad my kids got to see that.
They were spinning around people.
Did you go to Yankee Stadium?
Uh-huh.
I did too. What day did you go?
That Wednesday day game.
I went Friday day game or Saturday day game. It was so fucking hot.
You took the boys?
I took the boys and my niece, who's a goth. Did I not tell you about that?
Yeah,
she's a goth.
She used to be a bunny.
How old is she?
She's 18.
Of course she's a goth.
Correct. She used to be a whatever though.
Yeah, she was a furry for a while, and now she
said, "Fuck it, I'm going away from the furries."
I guess that's a term. I don't know. And now she's a goth. And
she sounds just fucked up enough.
Yeah, but she's really cool. She's very interesting, and she commits, man. She fucking commits when she's doing her goth
whole new
thing.
wardrobe.
It's like when you're at the Yankee game, you know, she stands out because she's pretty tall.
In black.
Yeah.
How was the Yankee game? Did you have a great time?
Yeah, we had a good time, and then I took the boys to go see music at Summer Stage. And that was huge amounts of fun.
Me and Renazisi almost got caught with weed.
What?
Outside Yankee Stadium. Because there's that park in front now, the new Yankee Stadium with the tall grass.
Yeah.
So we figured let's walk around it, smoke, a bone for a second, and somebody on a bike, just a regular kid, says, hey, be careful right up there on the corner. It's a cop. So I go, let's put it out. I took another hit, and then I put it out, and then I put it into like the case, the rest of it, and right when I put it away, some bike cop pulls up and stops right in front of me, and he's just looking at my feet. And he's like, where is it? And I was so scared. I didn't say anything. He's like, man, I just smelled it. Where'd it go? And I was like, it's gone. And he goes, fuck, you must have just gotten rid of it. And he looked around again. He couldn't see anything, even though it was in my hand. And he goes, all right. He just starts biking off. He goes, you got lucky this time. And he just bikes off.
Well, what were they going to do? Give you a ticket?
I don't know. I don't think it's that bad even if they did. I don't think it's that bad even if they got me.
You know, it's so weird.
If you're a bike cop, it's a given that you don't give people tickets for smoking pot.
They just say put it out, right?
You know, it's so weird when I hear everything about New York now. Like, I grew up there, guys. Like, I grew up there. Like, we always talk about our friend Michelle. She grew up in the fucking valley. We always talk about like, she grew up here. These were her streets. Like, she went to Hollywood as a kid. And, when she was 14, she'd go to Hollywood. And we're like, wow.
Yeah.
That's how I was in New York
yeah.
City. Like, that city was a fucking treasure chest for a kid. And we took trains and we walked and we did all that stuff. So when you guys talk about it, I miss it. Yeah. But when I get there now, it's such a different New York City in a way. Like, everything is like, I couldn't even tolerate going to a Yankee game now. I hear they're packed.
It was pretty full.
Pretty busy,
yeah. It was day on a weekday.
Oh, packed.
And it was pretty much.
You can't say nothing at the game. You can't spark a joint at those games.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. In the old days, you could fucking shoot heroin at those fucking games. Outside, there were those little crack vials all over the fucking place.
Oh, yeah, the old
Yankee Stadium, you'd be stepping on fucking crack vials.
It's still gross there, but only after everybody leaves.
Yeah, it's gross.
Really?
The boogie down, I love the Bronx. I am the fucking representative. You look at me, you look at my walk, my talk, I am the fucking Bronx. Because when I came from Cuba, that's where they took me. That was my first real, I lived in Manhattan, but I was with my mommy in Manhattan. And the Bronx was where I ran around. And to go to the Bronx now, but it's beautiful, the Bronx now. It's fucking beautiful, guys. Yeah. I hear one of the hottest comedy clubs in New York is in Brooklyn.
Really?
Like, Brooklyn is banging.
Oh, Hannibal Buress runs a show there.
Yeah, like banging. Like Brooklyn now. Brooklyn is fucking banging.
It's full of hipsters and cool people.
Yeah, and Brooklyn, 40 years ago, was the 4th largest city in the country. And it had every nationality there.
Oh yeah.
Every nationality in this fucking, this city that you couldn't even believe it. Like everybody, Albanians, the fucking Russians. I mean, they have everything. Bath Beach. So it was so complex in those days. I can't even imagine now being like the Russian mob was up there, the American mob was up there. I can't imagine that there's hipsters up there now.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
It was standing room only. There was like 6 people sitting down. Everybody else was standing. Mob, the line outside to get in.
I can imagine so.
Factory.
Yeah, must because when I lived in New York like 14 years ago.
Yeah.
No, it was about 11 years ago. They had huge rooms on the Lower East Side. Yeah, that were packed. Packed.
But you also have to remember, like New York has so many fucking people.
Yeah.
Like it just has so many people. Like this last time I went in May, I went outside at 4 and there wasn't that many people.
4 a.m.
At 4, yeah. In the old New York, there are fucking people walking around at 4. It's a different city. It's really, they've really got under fucking control. Remember what Sal was telling us when he was
it's way
here?
safer now.
Way safer. He was telling us that they have those cameras now. That if they're looking for you with a blue shirt, they could find you in New York City. All that shit, the technology. It was on CSNBC the other night. I almost called you. It was on at midnight.
Oh, really?
It was too fucking late. You should see the shit they got in New York. So if you do a crime in a bank like on 30th Street, they'll fucking track you. It's amazing. Yeah, New York is tight. Fucking, ever since 9/11, they had to tighten up New York.
They're spying on everybody.
More.
They're spying on every Arab that goes there. They're spying on.
Yeah, I mean, it's
everybody
a shame.
walks
and that's
in
what
New
they
York
do.
doors.
Listen, they just took away your civil liberties, so they tap everybody. When they say they have an informant, they don't have an informant. They just tap everybody. And
that's like when the improv says we got some complaint letters.
Right.
Like, show me one.
Yeah, show me one. It's a shame, and they also take Arab undercover agents and make them go to mosques and what's that word? Incriminate. Like if I come to you, Felicia, after a month and I keep saying, hey, can you get me blow? You're going to go, I don't know, but I'll ask. Maybe, and that's how they incriminate you. After you ask me for a month, can you get me an explosive or a fucking bomb?
If anybody asks me, if some comic comes in and says, hey, can you find me some coke? I'm like, I'll ask around for you. I don't know, but let me ask some people I think might know. How's that? That shouldn't be a crime. You're just hooking up a friend. Just introducing 2 people to each other.
It's a felony favor.
What about if someone wanted a gun? If you had a comic friend that wanted a gun?
That's different. They're not going to shoot anybody else with their coke. They're just going to do some coke.
Listen, if some idiot comes up to me for a gun and says, I need a fucking gun, I don't know what you're talking about. But somebody's family comes to me and says,
I need protection.
Somebody smacked their wife, I need a piece. I'll get you one in a fucking few days. You know what I'm saying? We could always find you something. It might shoot sideways, but we'll find you fucking something.
Find a gun? How long would it take you if you wanted to find a gun? How long would it take you right now? You're out of the practice, obviously.
4 hours.
4 hours?
Shut up.
4 hours.
Really?
No way.
4 hours. I can have one shipped here tomorrow overnight. A clean piece.
A good clean, like no serial code. Yeah.
Or like something that I have to dispose of right away, like use it but get rid of it.
Get rid of it and say you never got it.
Like use it and throw it in fucking the beach or something
that
like that. 24 hours. I can have one overnighted to me because that's how you send them, overnighted. Now you just use the contraband that's available to you.
Use FedEx.
I still have a gun.
Do you really?
I have a gun. It's not on me and it's not close to me, but I have a piece just in case if I have time.
Yeah.
Like if I have time, I have to jump a fence and dig it up. But I have a fucking gun, and I have good ammunition and everything.
Oh, really?
They can't find it. Don't ever find it on me if they come to my house. I don't give a fuck. Come to my house. You'll never find it.
Yeah.
Gonna
find a lot of cat hairs.
Some fucking jerk, some jerk off comes to me.
If you want a hairball, go.
Yeah, you want a hairball?
His house.
I got everything for you. It's funny because I respect guns, and I don't. Like I have a respect for them. I don't want them around me.
I knew I'd fuck up if I had one.
I don't want them around me. I just know how I get. Somebody leaves me a message on a bad day on my phone, I'll fucking shoot them. You do know that. When I get
even if you go up to them, be like, "What now?" and then if they don't back down, then it's like they shove you, then you have to do it or something.
Yeah.
When you have a gun, it's easy to get in trouble with.
Yeah.
Very easy. Because 9 out of 10, even on the 405, you just pull it out. You
exactly.
motherfucker. And next thing you know, they got a bazooka.
Yeah.
You on the 405 with your wife in the car.
It's scary when someone loses their shit. Like one time I had this comic friend of mine who someone stole his joke and did it on the Tonight Show. And he waved a gun around and it was scary. Like he was that pissed. But it's like, dude, you know.
Was it Rosanna?
Yeah, it's, no. But it could, but when you see someone.
Guess for violence. I get about joke stealing.
No, but when there's a gun involved, like I don't like to be around people that are hot-headed. So I'm glad that you bury your gun, Joey.
You don't want a gun.
That's what Bill Burr used to say about all those football players, like Plaxico Burress and stuff. They're like, dude, somebody has to sit these guys down and just say, you made it. Don't fucking carry a gun anymore. You're one of the, you got out. That's the only way you can fuck shit up, is if you start carrying a gun.
Listen, even if you carry all this dougage on you, once you carry that piece, it changes.
It changes everything.
I'm telling you, I just know from experience, guns are magnets.
It changes the charges too for anything.
They're a magnet. Now you attract people who carry guns.
Yeah.
I don't want people who carry guns around me. When I see a gun, you know who pulled the gun out on me? Steve.
Steve who?
Dr. Steve.
Really?
When he went to pick me up for breakfast, and he went to the car, and I mean, when I seen that holster on him, I shit. Like, I felt it, guys. Me, I fucking was like, oh. Like, it fucked me up for like on the whole ride to the bagel thing. Then I asked
that he had it.
Yeah, Dr. Steve. And he goes, I got the right to bear arms, bro.
Yeah.
And I thought about it. I go, you got a point there.
Yeah.
But I still don't want that piece, even in my fucking car.
Yeah.
I don't want that piece even in my fucking car. Knives.
I just think they're bad luck. When I was a kid, there lived this family across the street, and they had triplets, boys, and one of them shot his brother by accident.
Oh, killed him?
So can you imagine that? Can you imagine that?
Man.
You know, that's why
By
I always
accident,
say, I always say this.
And then the parents have to live with like knowing they left that
and then
out.
you're a set of triplets, and now you're twins. You know, but you know, it's like that. Just the guilt of it all. You know.
And you know what the crazy thing is, that just anything to do with guns has always freaked me out. Like when I used to get hot, I had a really nice gun and stuff. And you do need one. Sometimes I'm out at night. Sometimes I'm like, I could use a gun right now, just in case. But you know better. You're like, I don't need no fucking gun.
Also, you take a gun out, something might happen. Let's say you have 4 guys that are going to jump you. You take a gun out, you can get shot. You don't take a gun out, you're just going to catch a beating.
I'm scared for my wife. Like right now, in my position, I fall asleep at night. I can't hear nothing. Last thing I want to do is be in bed and a burglar over me. You know, I can't fucking hear nothing. So that scares the shit out of me. Yeah, anything. You know, somebody comes into your house, you want something. But I'm telling you, I don't want a gun in my house because I'll get pissed off. So if I have it 10 minutes away, that'll give me time to cool off.
10 minutes away, yeah. So you can think.
I'm saying? So I got my
Count
piece in Hollywood. I got some time to cool off.
Have you ever started going
to Hollywood?
Have you ever started going to get it, and then like on the drive, like what are you doing? Turn around, like cooled off on the way, so you didn't even get to it.
It's funny, when I went outside before, and I picked up your son's little rubber knife. I thought about a time with my ex-wife that I went to pick up the kid on Christmas, and she didn't show up. Christmas Eve, like 11 in the morning, and I didn't even say nothing. I just got back in the car, started, and I drove to my friend Danny's house, who was a hunter, and he had everything at the house, but he had the guns locked up. But when I opened the bottom, he had all his knives, and I took his big Rambo knife like this, and I drove down to the fucking, where the guy worked. And on the way there, I was already content. I was thinking about the phone call I was going to make, the fax machine. Jail? Yeah, who I was going to call, what attorney. I was going to play crazy because they took the kid, and I was just going to slice this motherfucker up. And I walked into the thing. And when I walked in, they're like, he just went out for lunch. And I'm like, that was the luckiest fucking bastard ever. Because I was stupid.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I got there and I was already dumb. My face was red.
Yeah, when people get angry, it's like you can't reason with it. They're going to make a mistake.
Listen, once your ears start ringing,
once
your ears start ringing, that's why I love that one scene, The Godfather, because his ears, the train goes. Before Michael shoots Alazzo, the train, and he hears the train. But that was so brilliant as a director, because when you do anything bad, your heart's beating so much, your senses alert, you don't hear. You just hear this fucking thing as you're going, and all the voices in your head, Felicia saying, Joey, be careful with that gun. They're coming in, but the fear is just blowing it out. That heat, and before he shoots him, look at him, before he gets up, he's heated, he's confused. That's why he should have won a fucking Oscar for that, because he knew, he stole it. When you do anything bad, if somebody comes to me right now and says, somebody hit Felicia, and the guy's on the corner, I'm gonna go get a bottle, and I'm gonna sneak up behind him and break his head. But the 5 minutes before I break that guy's head,
I was just like, I'm doing it. You're
not gonna hear nothing. You're just gonna hear ee, like a fucking broken phone, ee, bah! And that's the end of the fucking ease. Now your heart goes in a different direction. You got to run for the car before the cops get there. You got to say something to them. You tell something to the cops. I'll come back and stab you again. And now you.
Well, there you go.
No, look, just thinking about it, my heart gets, because I know when you're there, it's a bad situation. You know, it's fucking tough. Anger is a bad thing to control.
Me and Tibo were going to the airport on the way to Calgary, and you know how when you switch lanes and somebody sees that you're trying to, you have plenty of room, but they try to speed up so you won't, but then you're always going over casually anyway, and they go all the way to your back. So this lady did that, and it was like, well, I made an easy turn, relax, and she starts swerving around me, And then I see her looking at me through the rearview mirror. So I don't care. So I'm just like, come on back in. I'm like smiling at her and telling her to come back in. And then she stops short, and I go around, and we waited at a light. And she goes, fuck you, fucking faggots. You faggot tweakers. This like light-skinned black lady. And we're like, what? And Tebow was like, tweaker? He goes, I've done meth a couple times, but I'm certainly no tweaker. And she goes, why don't you suck each other's dicks, you fucking faggots? And Tebow goes, wait, I suck his dick or he's just like my dick? Which one? Which one should? She goes, yeah, that's right. Fuck you. And then we look in the back, and there's this kid, this 5-year-old kid, this little girl, just looking at us. We felt so bad. And then she chucked her water bottle into a car and drove off. Okay. And I was like, that lady ain't thinking straight. We were just laughing the whole time.
Oh my God. Well, as a mother, I have to defend that woman, because maybe you don't know what her fucking day was like, and maybe that little 5-year-old bitch was on her about shit and didn't like anything she cooked and was just didn't want to go to sleep, and her ex-husband didn't pay the alimony.
None of her actions.
All right.
So you got yourself into this.
I was in Aspen one time, and I got picked up at the airport. And some fucking guy cut me off, and he started giving us the finger. It wasn't like me and the girl were talking, and her boyfriend, and we were just talking. And all of a sudden, the guy gets, like some guy, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
What are you talking about?
So I go, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And I'm looking around the car. He threw like something, like a piece of paper at the girl. And I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? So I opened up a glove compartment, and she had touch-up paint.
Touch-up paint?
For the car. You know how you touch-up paint in the 80s, whatever. But she had the industrial little can. And I just went to throw it at him, but the thing wasn't lit, and it hit the truck, and the paint went everywhere from the fucking...
Oh, no.
He pulled over, fuck you. We're like, step on it, bitch.
Just get out of there.
It's fucking scary sometimes. When you that's why I just look straight now. Sometimes, what are you
I know they're going to pass me and stare. I don't even look back.
Yeah, you know what? Well, Saturday I go up to the Lovitz to do a spot, and I'm driving right over here on Colfax, and this guy has his hands on this girl, right? And I'm like, what? And I drove by, and he's like shaking her like violently, right? And so I'm like, that's fucked up. And I turn around and I go back and I roll the window down, and I'm like, hey, you can't touch her like that. And he was like shocked, like, oh yeah. And he took his hands off her, and then she started yelling at him and hitting on him like, oh, you're fucking crazy, you made a complete stranger jump, stop and help me. And she starts hitting on him, and then I was like, wow. I have reluctant feelings right now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, next time, mind your business. You can just take a gun out and shoot you. Next time, you don't know nothing.
That was a moment where I was like, I felt so good about it, and then I was like, oh, this bitch is crazy.
Those are the things that you get beaten for.
Yeah, you're never going to prove somebody wrong, though. You get into an argument. When are they ever going to be like, stop and go, oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, all right, you're right. I shouldn't have cut you off there. Like, you're never going to prove your point to the other person. So you're not going to ever win.
And you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what their day has been about. That's the beauty of this, that you never know what somebody else. They could be at that
breaking point.
They could be at that Michael Douglas. What's that movie he did where he shot everybody?
Oh yeah.
Remember?
What was that called?
He could be right there. No.
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. He could be right there, losing it, whatever it was. Yeah. With Robert Duvall and all that. Well, he was on the 10. He was in traffic, bro. Bam, bam. And all of a sudden he goes, fuck this. And he goes, he takes his briefcase, he walks through Echo Park, and as he's walking, 2 fucking Mexicans try to mug him.
Wrong day.
Remember? And he hits him with the bag, and he goes, you forgot your bag. Remember, he hits him. You never seen that movie?
I never saw that.
Fighting back or striking back.
It's like Spitz. What was the guy's name of the subway? Where the black kids tried to mug him in the city. He hunted him down.
Bernard something was in it?
Yeah. Bernard Getz. Bernard Getz. That was, I was living in New York City.
Wow. What was that like? What did they say about that?
It was...
there must have been people who were saying, like, good, he should have shot those guys.
It was when New York was New York, okay? The people were sick and tired of what was going on with violence. You know, it was the 70s, early 80s. People had it in New York. You know, in the early, and all that shit in New York was in the 70s where you could get mugged in Central Park and all that shit. So sure, vigilantes are going to come out. This guy got on a fucking train. Some kid looked at him. I don't know what the story was. Remember, we talked about it. There was a show about it. We discussed it. He took out his gun and started shooting motherfuckers. I think he killed one of them. He shot 3. But again, the city was at a time when they needed it. Yeah. Like this was what was going on. The kids, not just black, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, were coming into the white neighborhood trying to mug people on the fucking A train. Yeah. Can't do that. Finally, some guy fought back.
Not the A.
And the city backed him.
The city backs
Gets at that time. Like a big thing happened in the city. The fucking A train is one of the best forms of entertainment.
Really?
You could take your producers. You could take your Zach Galifianakis movie with Will Ferrell. You could take all that shit and shove it up your ass. You smoke a joint, you get on the A train, you go coast to coast on that A train, you will laugh your fucking ass off. See, now you guys got the rappers that come on and dance. In the 80s and 90s, Felicia, remember, there used to be this
No leg
hand.
guys.
Yes, there was a hand of black people or Spanish.
I have
or
no
white.
legs. I have no legs.
They would get on the train and say, "Can I have your attention, please? I got
Oh,
AIDS.
right,
I got a
that's
busted
right,
toenail.
yeah.
I got a cold. I got the flu. I got no eye.
And I got sick.
this. Can I get $1 or something like that?" And you sit there and go, "How many fucking diseases do you have?" But they had them on every train. That's entertainment. You just sit there and see who's going to give him money, who's not going to give him money, who gets into a fist fight. You know, Hell's Kitchen in New York City was entertainment at 7 in the fucking morning. When I'm walking to work on 12th Avenue and 11th Avenue to sell cars, and there's hookers asking you at 7 in the morning if you want your dick sucked, and you don't know whether they're getting on or they're coming off.
Yeah, you don't see many hookers that
No,
much
they've
anymore.
cleaned
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Listen, guys, I've
Times
showed
Square
you the
is all
videos.
tourists now.
I've showed you the videos of old New York.
Yeah.
Remember the garbage?
Yeah.
I mean, New York at one time, guys,
Garbage.
was fucking disgusting. When they used to have those garbage strikes, and you got 20 pounds of garbage in front of your fucking house, and it's 95 degrees. That's why the strike's always in the summer. There's never a strike in the winter for garbage. They ain't got time for that shit. In the summer, it stinks up, so they'll settle.
Yeah.
I remember seeing rats in New York City, guys, that you would just die. Like, they have so many different breeds of rats in New York.
Big ones.
Oh,
with
Like
yeah.
big
black
ones, big ones. Like I remember the 70s. My godmother owned 3 buildings in Harlem.
Yeah.
The basements were all connected, and we go down there and play wiffle ball and shit like that. The fucking rats, Felicia, I still remember their eyes. Like how green their eyes were. Like they had
Really?
in the dark, you could see green for like 2 dots, man. They run across. Fuck you, guy.
What's the name of that rap movie from that era?
Willard.
Or
Willard.
Yeah.
Willard, and then they remade it. They remade it with
How was the
Glover's
remake?
kid. The remake ain't bad. The guy Glover was the guy we met when we went to the Charles Bronson
The
movie.
original one was
Okay,
Michael J. Fox's dad from Back to the Future.
Really?
Yeah. I think so.
It was Willard and then Ben.
And then
Oh,
what?
Then
yeah.
Michael Jackson got on.
Unless
and
he
sang.
was the remake.
Right. The remake was Bruce Glover's kid, the guy that was in
Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover.
Oh yeah, he was Michael. That was the remake.
That was the
He
remake.
Yeah.
Now his father was in Hard Times. His father was a huge character actor in the 70s.
Oh really?
And when me and Felicia went to see Hard Times, he was there to the Beverly. He went, he was 70 something, and I was like, how can I leave? Guy, this is his night. Everybody else is dead in this fucking movie. This is his night.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glover, the father, was a bad motherfucker in his day.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure. You like New York, Ari. And
I
you've
love it
always
there.
talked about, why don't you just move?
I'm gonna get a place there.
Are you?
I'm gonna be back in October probably for or maybe back out to late till November for the Long Island gig, Governors and the other one.
November 8th is Chicago, and then
November
November
8th,
9th
Chicago.
and 10th we're going to Governors, and
Oh, together?
I don't know. I think we're going to the,
I might have to go straight from there to the New York Comedy Festival.
what do you mean?
I don't know.
So
From
there's a
Chicago.
festival on Friday. Yeah, we're
Friday,
both going to
Saturday.
New York.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go. He told me today that we're going to go. So
Oh really?
yeah,
Oh okay. I haven't talked to him today.
yeah, it's not a bad little fucking.
That's great. But yeah, I'm gonna get a place there. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna start asking people like who wants to go in with me. Maybe get a 2-bedroom with 3 people.
You're a New York guy, right?
Yeah.
Now. You're a late stalker.
Yeah, I like it out late at night. There's nothing. Hollywood's
There ain't
kinda
dick here.
closed.
2
Yeah.
o'clock. There ain't dick unless you make it at 2 o'clock.
I mean, the Comedy Store stays open. Comedy Store's still cool till 2:30, 2:45. You can smoke there with a bunch of people. But that's it. And on good days, they'll open up the bar and they'll let you keep drinking. But that's the only thing that's open.
And the diner up here. There's nothing, guys.
few
It's
diners,
amazing
a few
when
diners, but
you,
nothing
when you're
good is
used
open.
to, in New York, you have insomnia at 4 in the morning. You could go to a coffee shop, have a cup of coffee, and fucking write a few jokes.
See some people, yeah.
Which here, where do you go? Denny's?
Yeah.
That's it. You only got Denny's. We got the fucking one diner. New York is so
It's alive,
spread
man.
out. Yeah, it's
so,
alive.
Not
It really-
spread out. It's so spread up. So right around you, there's 50,000 people in like 7 blocks.
Where would you move? You'd move into the city?
Either Lower East, the East Village, or maybe Brooklyn. I've started to give Brooklyn a shot. Once I went over
Yeah,
there, I was like,
Brooklyn.
this is cooler.
Brooklyn's pretty cool.
Matt Egger told me this. He was like, what are you going to do in Manhattan during the day? It's all tourists there. Who are you going to hang out with there daytime? You got college kids at NYU or tourists. There's nobody your age. Nobody artistic hanging around there. It's like Brooklyn. That's the cool thing. You take the train in at night.
There's nothing to do in New York City in the daytime. That's what you're trying to tell me.
He's saying there's nobody cool there hanging out, doing regular stuff.
You go to McSorley's Ale House. You
Yeah.
get a few Valiums.
Yeah.
Go in there.
Oh, I ate this Cuban place that was delicious. Dominican Cuban place.
Where at?
It was like 42nd and 2nd. I have a picture of it. I'll show you what the name of it was. They got a beef stew and some peas and some tropical like guava juice. All $10. They gave it to you fast. It was hot as fuck in there. I took a picture so I know the name of the place.
They got every food. I heard that when I did this TV
Lolly restaurant.
Next time you go to New York, you got to go to a fucking joint. It's a Cuban Dominican place.
Yeah.
Next time you go to New York, you got to go to
Especialidad and Comida Dominicana.
You got to go to a place that serves Cuban Chinese food, and they still got them up on.
Cuban Chinese food?
Delicious.
What are you talking about?
Delicious.
Is that the one on Broadway in 72nd?
That's it.
Yeah.
La Campana China. It's been there since time
La
immemorial.
China?
That's the one. The big one
La
I grew
Campana
up.
China?
La Campana China means the Chinese belt in Cuban.
Wow.
Cuban Chinese people are Chinese people that speak Cuban, just
That's
like
right where Stand Up New York is.
Right there.
It's right near there.
Is it
I
close to there?
Yeah, it's
right there.
was looking for a place to eat right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
You go in there, you get the number 2. It's an egg roll
Yeah.
with a Cuban steak, pork fried rice.
Yeah.
Good,
Really?
googly moogly.
No, there's so many good restaurants.
Yeah, that's the
especially,
one
like,
thing. Yeah,
all
so-
up and down 9th. You know, all the little
That's the
restaurants
one thing
around
that's
there.
Yeah,
really-
there's a ton of good restaurants. That's
Such
a
a
good. If you like
variety.
eating, it's like you just walk around, you'll find something
You
great.
get that Hudson, you get that sushi from the Hudson. Radioactive shit, you know what I'm saying?
I hate Yelp now. With Yelp, it's so much easier. You just go like, find me the best thing within 3 blocks. What's been reviewed the best within 3 blocks, and you find the top 3 things in your price range. You can go 1 cache, 2 caches, 3 caches, and just what's open now, best thing around. You find gems that way.
People are really using that.
Yeah, because people write in, and honestly, if 400 people review it, if 350 of those give it 4 stars, and the other 50 give it 3 stars, that's a good spot. But if 250 people give it 1 star, it's like, stay away.
And it's fucked up now because all you gotta do is, like, let's say you're looking up a comedy club, right?
Yeah.
You want to find the number of the webpage. You go to a comedy club now. You go to Google or Yahoo. You press in the comedy club. You click. It'll tell you the number, but before that, it'll tell you reviews.
Yeah, the reviews are hilarious.
And it's go to any.
We found one from the store. They review the comedians. That's the thing. They
Yeah.
review the
Oh,
comedians.
I've seen that. I just saw that somewhere on something
And they just
like that.
they usually forget the names of the people they hated, but they can describe it so the comedians know who the fuck you were talking about. So we're all laughing.
They had one for the Ice House in bold letters. The first review said, "The manager sucks dick."
That's someone who definitely got thrown
That
out.
was the first review.
The manager
That was the
sucks
first
dick.
review. The manager sucks dick. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go there. That's the club. I can't wait to go there. I've been
That's
watching the
funny.
show, guys. I don't know if you guys. Everybody has their own little reality
Hot as
secrets.
fuck in the valley. Yeah, go ahead.
What do you
Sorry,
watch?
it's
What's your
fine, yeah.
reality secret?
Well, because I was looking at that old car, I've been watching a lot of Pawn Stars and then Cajun Pawn Stars.
Oh, the really
Yeah.
fake ones.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you watch reality wise?
When I watch it, I got rid of cable so I don't have to watch this shit. But when I have to watch it, 16 and Pregnant or Hoarders. I like watching
I get
real
trapped by
people
hoarders.
fuck.
Hoarders is
I
a
get
motherfucker.
trapped by hoarders.
Hoarders
sometimes.
gets me. The one usually gets me sometimes
What?
when they do intervention.
Intervention, yeah,
That's
real
I
shit
can't
like
watch
that. Where like
that.
this is
That's-
some real
this is
emotion.
some real
That's what I can
shit.
get into. I feel like I'm watching them like behind a window or something.
The
Yeah.
hoarders, I didn't even know that word existed. Guys, I didn't know what that was. And I had a friend, my life friend, whose mother was a hoarder.
Yeah.
Like, you go over there, she's like, move a stack of papers. They had every fucking newspaper ever in bundles.
Yeah.
And you would sit on them and shit. That's fucking craziness. But the one I've been getting into lately is that restaurant thing.
What
The guy
kitchen?
goes into a
Hell's
restaurant
Kitchen?
and redoes it. No.
Oh, yeah.
With the English guy that's yoked and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
There's 2 of them. There's that
Kitchen
one. There's,
And then
makeover?
there's like a really like New Yorker kind of guy, right, or something like that.
there's
that
the
goes
one
in.
that's an English guy that's
Yeah.
pretty buff.
And he said, "Look at this, it's mold.
Yes,
I
yes.
ate from this. This started me. I'm gonna be sick."
Who would eat from this? Either
Like
you're
other
gonna do
customers,
this,
yeah.
or then they have the one on Spike. That motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah.
But let me tell you something.
Psych is a gross. They want to get that on the Comedy Store. We all told Polly, like, Polly, it's gonna make us look ridiculous.
Which one? Bar review. Bar.
Whatever the Spike one, yeah, bar review.
Oh, really?
Like they're gonna make us look like idiots. That's what they do. They have to make us look terrible, so they can say it's better now. And all anybody's remember is the fucking rat that you're gonna bring in there so you can show.
Let me tell you something. But there's a lot of shit you learn from. Like there's a lot of shit. Like the customer makes a decision the first 30 seconds. The size of
yeah.
the bar stool makes a fucking just
Oh,
a
really?
lot of shit that you're like, wow, I didn't know about that. Like some lady came in and she's like, listen, you ever hear about mashing? We mash fruit and we put them at the bar. So when people come in, they smell the fruit. They get hungry. They order that fruit. They order that drink.
Oh, wow.
Just little things that you're like, wow, I didn't know about that. I didn't fucking have any idea. I thought...
Gave him free
I don't know, but I went to a restaurant a couple of weeks ago, and it was one of those restaurants where they made all the drinks different, like with fresh fruit. Like, can I get a Cosmo? Oh, we don't have cranberry juice. We have a pomegranate. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Like
some crazy.
But they did it to a point where nothing tasted good. It was like, sometimes you just want your fucking drink, you know?
Listen, man.
You gotta have fresh cranberries, if anything, and make it similar.
What they've done is you go to get a drink and it takes you 15 fucking minutes now.
Yeah.
They got 19 different vodkas. They're pushing grape vodka with club soda. Just give me a fucking gin and tonic. Hold the ice cubes, bitch.
I'm at a beer bar. Just what do you got on top?
All right, just hold the fucking ice cubes. That's the only instructions you need. Put a lime in there, put an extra fucking lime, and that's it. By the way, I went to that place, Sam's No. 2 in Denver.
Oh yeah,
where we went. Oh my God, where the green chili was making me sweat.
Yeah.
They made a Bloody Mary there that I looked at, and I came in my asshole and in my dick, but I didn't have the balls to drink it because it was like 11 in the morning. It was this big with a fucking tree in it. You know, Colorado, everything's fucking celery stalk is big. Everything in Colorado's on steroids. You know what I'm saying? The burritos. You go for a large burrito here, it's large. Go to and they smother it with the green chili and the cheddar cheese. I don't have to tell you, Felicia. That shit's sleep. That cheddar cheese is sleeping pill.
Putting you to sleep.
Yeah, that's a sleeping pill.
You eat that and you're like, guys, I gotta go home.
Oh my God, we ate it one time. We're like, see you later. You going to the weigh-in? Fuck no.
That or the pantry late at night in downtown LA. If you get like a thick cut with like raw bacon or almost raw bacon, thick omelet with all that bread.
The dip sandwich.
That's Philippe's.
That's
Philippe's. Oh, that's Philippe's. That
the pantry's open like till 24 hours.
Me and Ari went out. We went into that on a hit ass.
Oh yeah.
Why? I don't know. We just walked in there
because we didn't want to go home yet, and we started tripping. We're like, we need somewhere safe to go.
In the pantry, and we sat there looking at each other. We ordered meat. We each looked at it, and
then we started hitting hard. Yeah, we didn't want to eat anything. The guy's like, "Here's your check. Time to go."
All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
No, that's not what we did. We were like, fuck, when are we going to go downtown LA right now? And you were like, how about some dessert? So we ordered dessert. We took a bite of that.
Oh,
he goes, here's your check. And you're like, whoa, give me some coffee. You kept like waiting us there. It was like, it was that thing where the space is all like, you were like real far away and then close. You look like a Picasso picture. It's like, I didn't want to leave yet.
I tell you, I ate a mushroom cap the other day.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, mushroom and acid is two different fucking worlds.
Two different things. Similar,
Two different worlds. Similar. And the mushrooms are a little bit more fun because the acid takes you into deeper water really fast and you don't know what's going on. Yeah, the mushroom, it's a great experience. It really is. And I'm ashamed that I did one. I'm ashamed.
You're ashamed that you did one?
You should be ashamed.
Yeah, I ate it on stage. I got so fucking fired up on stage.
Why are you ashamed you did it?
I'm fucking 50 years old. I'm eating mushrooms. Who am I? You know what I'm saying? Where am I going with that shit? But
you ain't going anywhere with it. You're just having a good time.
I just looked at the bag this afternoon. I thought about bringing it over here and eating it and doing the podcast tripping. But I knew Felicia had a date tonight and shit. I don't want
Not tonight, but tomorrow. But I don't need you tripping on mushrooms in my house.
You don't want to do them?
No, I think I'm too scared. I'm too chicken.
When was the last time you did
chicken? In Colorado.
No way.
When you were a young girl?
Yeah, I did.
Felicia,
yeah.
Put the kids in a fucking crate in the garage and just
put the what?
A nice day. Put the kids in a crate in the garage.
Chicken.
Make sure nobody gets hurt.
You have the kids tonight?
No. Yes, I do. No, because I did acid a few times. I didn't like that either.
No, that's deep.
Mushrooms nice. It's nice and polite to you.
It's an hour or two of deep water, and then you're around people,
and then you're cool for another 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
You control it. You could eat another stem. Yeah. Should we eat another one? You know. But that shit, that acid, and it wasn't even strong that time.
Here's what we did. It's because you want to eat a little more all the time. But if you're going for 6 hours, like a UFC or something, you break it up or whatever, put pieces into like a bag of candy. And then you just keep reaching in there. Every once in a while, you can pull out a straight jujube. Or if you want, you can fail for something that doesn't feel like juji. And you're like, that's a mushroom, pop that right in. Nobody knows.
The thing about mushrooms is that as you're chewing them, then you realize, fuck, this is grown under a piece of shit. Is that true?
Oh, I never think about that.
That's the fucking
that would
worst.
gross me out.
That's the worst. As you're eating them, you're like, this is... And I'll tell you what was fucked up.
And
I shouldn't really repeat this, but I'll tell you guys what happened Saturday. I was telling you guys that in Denver, somebody gave me a bag of edibles.
Yeah.
You know? And we ate a bunch of edibles before the UFC, you know? And it's so weird when something goes into your head and I don't even know. And I'm sitting at this fucking UFC in Denver. And all of a sudden, guys, I don't know where this thought comes in my head. And I'm sorry. What if somebody whips a gun out and starts shooting us while I was on that fucking pot cookie?
Then what?
What?
Then what? Why would it be worse on a pot cookie?
as high as I was, I'd take the fucking bullet. I couldn't run. I definitely couldn't
You just
run.
sit there and watch them.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do? Like, just that thought went in my mind.
They'd be right next to you, looking, firing at someone
and
else.
for like 20 minutes, I couldn't even focus on the fights.
Really?
Like, I couldn't even focus. Like, I'm like, what was I?
You were high, huh?
I was fucking high. I'm like, what would happen if somebody came in here and just started fucking shooting? You know, this could happen anywhere now. This could happen anywhere.
My thoughts are always this: like, what if I'm on something and I'm at the urinals pissing, and it gets too much, and I start like huddling on the ground and like rolling it and screaming, and I get fucking 80 people's piss all over me.
Oh,
that's what I think. I'm like, not here. Just don't let it happen here if I freak out. Just let me get back to my seat first. That's all. I just don't want it at the urinal.
You know, that's what happens to me because I think about like when I go for a needle.
Visual. Thank you for that.
When I go for a needle, I'm thinking about not fainting.
Yeah.
But when you put that thought in your head, it's
in your head.
Yeah.
It's in your head. And that's what happened to me that night at the fights. I'm like, holy fuck.
I had to tell myself once I was super, super high, and Kevin James was there, and they were talking to the UFC about doing that movie together. And so I'm around these people, and I'm way too high, and I'm sweating. And I had to tell myself, like, listen, you know in your head that nobody dies from this, so stop thinking you're going to die. Just, it'll be gone in 4 or 5 hours. Just ride it out and keep your mouth shut. And I just was like able to be like, you know what, you're right. I know any bad feelings is just the drug making me think crazy thoughts. And then I was able to like calm myself back down. And from then on, it hasn't been tough, even though like super ODs.
I've been high a couple times, like in my 50-year existence.
Yeah.
I've been high on Quaaludes and Coke and booze at one point in the night. Like, you're like, what's my next level? It's got to be death. Like, what's the next level? It's got to be death. Like, I got to go into that realm where you're kind of dying, where you're having cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
That's what I would think about. Like, what is the next level of this? Like, oh, my God, why did I do all these pills? And why did I eat all these edibles? Like, the thing that happened to me in San Francisco was fucking scary. But I knew what happened. I figured out what happened.
What?
I didn't take my blood pressure medication.
Oh, blood pressure and pod.
If I don't take it for a few days like that, I forget sometimes. Like I'm feeling good.
Gets you fainty.
I'll take one of the pills or something. And what happened was I got so high so quick that it just takes you to that place, and your blood pressure just drops.
It exacerbates it.
Yeah, I did not like that.
No. And I just seen the Mad Flavor World the next day from it, and then my face was still green. And that's what it was. My blood pressure just shot down. That was the worst I ever got on edible. I thought when I OD'd the banana bread on Chandler was bad. That was nothing compared to that night in San Francisco. Nothing. And if I wouldn't have put my sleep apnea mask together that night, I would have died that night. Because that's what saved me. I just put the mask on and I just closed my eyes. I put a towel under me. That's how much sweat was coming out of me.
Oh yeah, when
it was just
t-shirt just like soaks.
It was just disgusting.
I did at the airport once. It was just sometimes you take a cookie on you haven't eaten anything or whatever it is, and I took like I got in the spins. You start spinning, you start sweating. It's like, oh, and I'm at the airport waiting. My plane's delayed an hour, thankfully, and I got to sit further down. So I sat on the ground just so I could get my bearings of like not falling. You know, I'm sitting on the ground with my back to a chair, pouring sweat. I look over this father and his son. The son's like 15, 16, and they're sort of looking at me, and I'm looking at them looking at me, and I'm like, they're seeing a junkie. That's what they're seeing. They're seeing a junkie at the airport. And I felt so bad for myself.
That is gotta be.
Somebody told me the worst story.
Somebody told me. Yeah, sorry, I was like, this doesn't feel good.
No, because I'm sorry to interject, but I remember once I did too much acid. That's why I can't ingest stuff because I was in Denver at the Who concert and I was so fucked up. Like it was not good, and like a guy next to me was throwing up and it looked like a waterfall going way down into the pit. It was just like, so I saw someone who I thought was the devil. I was married at the time. I thought my husband was the devil. I mean, literally the tail, the horns, the fucking pitchfork. Oh shit, man.
Wow,
I was like,
really the devil.
Make this stop, God, make this stop. And after that, I was like, fuck that. So I don't know how you guys go and do it again after you have an experience.
The other parts are really good besides the make it stop part. Here's what I do. If I think that something bad's gonna happen to me, I remember taking like ecstasy once because that was the only way I'd go with Rogan and Eddie to those nightclubs. You were like, I'm out, but I felt obligated I had to go. But then I remember when 2 a.m. rolled around and I was like, all right, it's time to go, and no one's leaving, and I'm like, go to the security guards. What time does this place close? And they're like, close. And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm stuck because I couldn't afford a cab back to the other hotel. So I take ecstasy. It's the only way I could do it. And I was like tripping out too hard once on it, and I remember thinking like, this is gonna give me like heart palpitations. I'm gonna die. So I would text myself, who dealt it to me so the cops could find the bad ecstasy if they were trying to find out what happened to me.
Bitter end.
I was like, I took a mixture of ecstasy and breath strips. Here's the people I got it from. Fine, if one of those is bad.
That is fucking hysterical. I talked to somebody in Denver that offered me Molly.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
And I was
that
like, nah.
goes well with mushrooms.
And I was like, nah, I gotta fly.
What is that?
Like,
It's like the pure ecstasy. It's no speed involved.
So somebody said, I got 4 hits if you want to take them. I go, no, I gotta fly out early. And he's like, no, take them with you. And I was like, no, I don't even want them because
Yeah, you're not gonna take them with you.
I don't even know what they look like, you know, so I don't really want them.
I don't either.
So he goes, take them, you know, whatever. And I go, no, I gotta fly with them. He goes, that's the best. I go, what, smuggle them? He goes, no, take 2 Mollies in the morning and fly on that shit. I'm like, what?
Did you go for it?
Fuck you.
No.
I couldn't be on a plane on
Listen,
ecstasy or
Damn it, I
acid.
thought you were gonna go for it.
The biggest fucking, and you know
Make everything
this.
nice.
Let me tell you something. The biggest nightmare you could have on drugs is being on a plane. If you think
There's no way out.
there's no way out,
Yeah,
and if you start
yeah.
bitching, they pull that plane down. You're gonna go to jail. You're gonna go to a hospital. You're gonna get thrown off that airline. You can't fly again.
I was close.
You
to
know
telling-
that.
I
You
was
know that.
close
Like
to telling
Ralphie
once.
May can't fly United.
Oh, really?
You know that for
Oh,
kicking the
really?
fucking thing. You guys do know that.
Kicking what
He got
thing?
to a plane late one day.
Oh, he started
and he
kicking.
missed the plane. He kicked the thing. Fuck. Fucking they came. He can't fly United no more. After 9/11, they ain't playing with
Wow.
you. Can't fly United.
Have you ever done acid on a plane, Ari?
No, not on a plane. Just a lot of weed.
I did a breast trip once
yeah,
on a plane
with
on no
edibles
breakfast
mostly.
from Chicago. And the plane was going to Midway to Burbank. Okay? And I was 415 pounds.
Yeah.
And it was like September, one of those Wednesday night, that idiot that was booking us on Wednesdays, remember that club in Southside? That closed
yeah,
down,
Riddles,
whatever,
Riddles.
Rascal, what was
Riddles,
it?
Riddles. Oh, yeah.
So I get up the next morning, I got no weed, and I open up my wallet to look for the ID, and there's a bread strip. But remember they used to stick together?
Yeah, they stuck together. So you took 2 by accident?
I put it under my tongue.
Wow.
There was 4, I don't fucking know.
That's 4 doses. Half of one, as
Put
they
it
say,
under
is the
my
right
tongue.
dose.
I get on the plane, and you know me, I got the Walkman on. Please don't stop the music. All of a sudden, that fucking plane starts doing something, and that's when it hit me, Felicia. And I just sat there. So for an hour, I sat there, and everything was okay. But then as we were getting into Burbank, there's 45 minutes out of Burbank, it's always choppy. The fucking plane went like this. And that was when Southwest had in the front and the back, they had those seats that you faced each other.
Right, right.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sitting across from the nicest, whitest family in the world. I'm 415 pounds. I got jeans on and a t-shirt like this. And all of a sudden I go through what Ari's going through. I'm thinking I'm going to die. I can't breathe. And I'm ready to look at the fucking waitress, the stewardess, or the air, whatever, I'm sorry. And all of a sudden, all I could think about was taking off my shirt. 415 pounds.
Because you're so hot.
I take my shirt off, and it's coming off me. She's like, what's the matter? And I'm like, I forgot to take my blood pressure medication. They
That's a
brought me-
good excuse, by the
Always.
way. I got to remember that. That's a good one.
Tell her the other one, but hold on. And she gave me the water, but here I am looking at myself
I'm in line.
in front of the 3 whitest people in America, and sweat's pouring off my fat fucking titties. Like, I can't even make eye
dripping
contact
off,
with them.
just like-
And I'm tripping, Felicia. And I just have to look at my stomach, and I can see how the sweat is coming from here, and it's either going on between my tits, or it's going straight down into the valley of fucking it. And they're looking at me so embarrassed. I sat without a shirt on a Southwest airline until the plane landed, bro.
Wow.
And she kept saying, why don't you just sit here? So the first 20 people walked out and looked at my fat stomach. Me sweat.
Wow.
That's a fucking nightmare. Well, we're in Kennedy Airport, me and
Is
I.
that where it was, Kennedy?
We're in Kennedy Airport, and we go out to eat. We got the worst bagel in the world. Didn't we? We flew in from here
yeah, it
to
was to
Kennedy,
New York.
Buffalo, and then back to New York. That was the deal.
Yeah.
So we took the flight from here, got to fucking New York.
Yeah, on our layover, we went outside, got a
went
bagel,
outside.
he had a cigarette.
We had a cigarette. We smoked some pot or something. And we went
And we
back
might
in.
have- yeah.
Our flight was like we took a red eye.
Yeah.
We took a red eye. So we got to New York at 5 in the morning. It's fucking freezing. We go outside. We go back in. I got my sleep apnea machine. And they're like, they got us held at Kennedy Airport.
And this
You know how
longest line.
You know how they're doing it now? They're like, if you got a 6 o'clock flight, go. But you're there early.
So everybody else has
Eat
to
and
wait.
shit.
And you have somebody like, I want to sit down.
And people were yelling and stuff. And so 6 o'clock flight. And we're like the 8 o'clock flight. We just
Yeah.
want to get in and eat. We were connected. We had 2 hour wait there.
It's great.
And finally I go, Ari, what's
teacher.
this? I go right up to the chick and I say something.
What do we do, Sensei?
And all of a sudden she just opens it. Come on through.
He goes, what did you say to her?
I go, dog, I got sleep apnea. I got no time for this shit. If my blood pressure goes low, I'm gonna drop right here. Then you got another problem. I got a good Jew attorney.
Right this way.
Right this way. Dog.
Supervisor shrugs.
What can you do? Yeah. Once you mention Jew attorney, and I'm getting sick, they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with that. When we went a couple weeks ago with Felicia,
I've tried interviewing those TSA guys. Sometimes you find a cool one. So they're talking to you. I used to have my knee brace after I had my surgery for a while. So I knew it was going to go off every time. So I was like, I got a knee brace. It's okay. We'll come do it. And they're like, do you mind? I'm like, totally cool. I knew ahead of time. So we're talking. We're joking around. I was like, hey, can I interview for my podcast? And he's like, they told us specifically, absolutely not. Nobody. We ain't doing any interviews with anybody. We're not allowed. I was like, motherfucker. But they're not allowed. They don't want to fucking deal with. They don't want attorneys, and they don't want interviews.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
that's the last thing they fucking. When we went to San Francisco, I'm like, Felicia, just follow me in this line. Yeah. Because there's just so many things you do.
Oh, he's the professional.
No, yeah.
You've seen him.
Yeah,
like, you don't fuck around.
On Southwest.
You have to step up your game. When
Yeah, they have a business class, but you don't have to pay for business class. You pay for the early boarding.
Yeah.
Which is just like business class.
But they say everybody has like top 30 people get their window seats.
So you go through the business class, and you sit, and all of a sudden they're like, "You're not business class." Yeah, but I didn't know. They're not going to make you stand on line. They're going to run you through.
Oh, right.
So you get on that first class line. I do that everywhere. We go on the first class line with Joe for years.
Yeah, just going.
We're
with him.
Nothing.
Like, what do you mean you're with him? You're about to fucking sit down somewhere else.
Yeah.
But they never say a word.
They don't say a word. They really don't. As long as you...
It stays pretty orderly. As long as it stays
As long
pretty
as you
orderly.
stay orderly and shit, you don't have to wait in those lines. Those are for fucking savages. I tell you
It's fun being with you. I remember once we were somewhere. I didn't want to say where. But you went to this little kiosk, came back, opened your palm. What do you got there? Tic Tacs. Did you wait through the line? Like, no, I took these. Like, what? Why did you shoplift Tic Tacs? Just to stay sharp, dog. I just got to stay sharp.
I always shoplift something at the airport. I respect.
But just something
just for
small.
good luck, because I've been doing it for so long. You know, they put the New York Post right by the door. I go in, I buy Tic Tacs. I put the New York Post under my arm. I buy the Tic Tacs. They don't even say, "Is that New York Post?" Got to break them down somewhere. They want $2.50 for a fucking New York Post. It's 50 cents in New York. You can't fucking rob me.
They used to charge me to do a open mic at the Westwood Brew Co. No, it was the Gypsy Cafe, and they started charging you to buy a drink, $5 for a Coke or whatever it was. It was so annoying when you're broke. But they had those cool Coke glasses that go out at the top, you know. And I was like, well, I'm stealing one of these every time I do it. You got to get something back for yourself. What are you gonna not?
Bro, here's the thing: is that TSA now has ruined the whole
experience. You can't meet a fucking girlfriend at the gate. You can't see them off.
You can't do nothing. They really, and I understand. True. See, a guy like me
get it a
understands.
little bit.
It's the safety, whatever. But I remember when you could fucking get down on planes. When I used to get down on planes.
What would you do?
There'd be 20 people partying on a fucking plane in the old days.
What do you mean going to the bathroom?
Partying, getting down hard. Like people would get up and talk in the aisles. Hey, you're from Cincinnati. I'm from. And next thing you know, you're drinking with someone.
Yeah, it used to really be like
now
that.
It's not like that no more. You know,
true.
And sometimes you bump into people.
There's no room in the aisles anymore.
Yeah.
No, I remember bumping into a guy one night at an airport in a layover, and this motherfucker's like, "Dog, I'm holding."
What?
And I'm like, "What are you holding?" He's like, "I got a big bag of blow." And I had a big bag of blow in the locker that you put, you take the 50 cents out. And me and him snorted till we closed the bars in Denver. And then he went to his terminal. In those days, you could walk from terminal to terminal.
Yeah.
He went to his terminal, and I was all coked up. And I had to get changed to get the quarter out because you have to put 50 cents in to take it. Yeah. I must have spent $100 on quarters because I was paranoid to have the coke on me. So
you kept going back?
I kept going to the locker, taking the key out, taking a little rock out, putting it back in there. They were watching me the whole time.
They must have been. Like, this guy's gone to a locker.
I'm the only guy in the terminal, yeah.
Yeah.
But on those trips, your cocaine addiction has different phases. And when I was doing that, I got into the paranoia phase. And what happens is, let's say you're driving to the airport and you see a cop car somewhere where you usually don't see a cop car. That goes into your psyche. So when you do a line, you think of that cop car. Why was he there? You start looking out windows. So I would fly with the coke on me.
Yeah.
I would go from Colorado to Jersey with guns, and then on the way back, bring the blow on me on Sunday, or the same day. I mean, that's how stupid I was. I'd take the early flight and come back that afternoon. I'd be back in Aspen by 8 o'clock at night. So one time I couldn't do that, so I just stayed in New Jersey and snorted with these guys. I'll never forget that. Their hot water thing blew up. They had 2 feet of water in the basement, so we were snorting in the basement with our pants rolled up snorting coke because he couldn't do it upstairs with his parents. So here we are with candles because you couldn't put the lights on, you electrocute yourself. I mean, this was, so that morning I had to leave. I will never forget that. He had a little sister and she was down there with us. And everybody wanted to fuck the kid's sister. She's 16. You know, it was one of those nights where she's the last girl at the coke party. And it was 7 in the morning. Thank God I had to fucking leave. Like, this poor girl was scared for her life because he left us there. He sold me the coke, the 10 ounces.
And it took off?
And he goes, bro, I have my little brother drive you. I got to go to a party. Stay here. And we were down in this basement. So I get to the airport. I'll never forget this, man. It's fucking freezing in New York. Everybody's got coats on. The Mets had just won in '86.
Yeah.
It was like around that time.
Around the Mets.
So people were still fucking met out. And I get to the thing. In those days, you didn't walk through a tunnel. You went outside at Newark and Kennedy and LaGuardia. It wasn't like now you walk through a tunnel to the thing. You take the thing in those days. You walked outside. So it's freezing out, Felicia. It's fucking freezing. And everybody's got coats on. Guys, I got on there with a T-shirt like this. But as I was walking, the steam was coming out of my body like I was on fire. Like from my body, from snorting for 2 fucking days.
Yeah.
And I'm on this. Like I need more on the plane. I got on the plane, but I got the inside seat, not the middle. And there's a guy that sits on the outside seat. Before that plane took off, I was taking the little compartment down where you put your food. Yeah. And I was doing coke on that. And I don't know if this guy
off the
watching.
fucking tray table?
Bro, this is how crazy I was. And then I kept asking him to get up. I got so paranoid because before the plane took off, I went up 8 times.
He saw you doing it?
Oh, he had to. My face was going. I was sweating, you know. And then I was to the point on the plane that I was putting the blanket over my head and doing the coke. Like I would chop it up, and then I would make believe I was sleeping. I'd be chopping it up, and I'd get my dollar bill ready. And when nobody was looking, I'd put the blanket over my head. I go, and I'd fucking take the blanket off and make believe. That's how fucked up I got on the plane. And there'd be other people on planes joning and drinking. You know, in the old days, upstairs, planes had 2 floors. Bro.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Planes had 2 floors. They changed all this shit, guys. We're getting jacked in the fucking ass. In the old days, planes had 2 floors.
Yeah.
So first class was downstairs, and then coach, it was called coach, was upstairs. Everybody was coach. There was no business. So you mingled. And upstairs was where the piano was, and they'd have like food out. And they had a bar upstairs where you went and asked for drinks, and they had a bartender.
And they had to give you, it was open bar though, right?
No, you had to pay for your drinks, $4 or whatever it was. But it was a party, bro. You mingled. Yeah. Now you sit there like a fucking Momo on a flight for 6 fucking hours.
They had a little lounge like that on the way in the first class to Australia.
Australia, sure, because it's...
And it was like a little place to go where you can sit, and like if everyone's sleeping there, you can just sit, and there's a little TV.
Oh, now there is?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
For those long flights.
Like the 18-hour flight.
That's 18-hour flight.
Oh, because I'm going to Bali. Oh, that would count.
Maybe the same way.
How long was your flight, Felicia?
It's really long.
How long?
It's like 14, 15 hours.
Yeah, I bet they have
one flight.
It's like, no, I got 3 flights.
From where to where?
I go here, San Francisco, Hong Kong, and then Hong Kong, Bali.
And how far? How far?
I bet Hong Kong, Bali is a long way? No, San Francisco to Hong Kong.
Yeah,
how long are you in Hong Kong for?
Like a few hours, you know, just to change it.
No, it's amazing. Flying has, it's not fun. You know,
it's not fun. It's just I sit there. People sit down. I try not to even look at them. No one looks at me. You open up your book and ignore people. There's no like, how you doing? Where are you coming from?
I remember being on a People's Express once from L.A. to New York in '84, and it was a fucking red eye, and some black guy yelled at a family for bringing a kid on.
Really?
What the fuck is wrong with you? Don't you know this motherfucking plane's a party, bitch? We ain't got time for fucking kids. They fucking melted in their chair, and then it became a party on that flight, and then they felt like jerk off. That was known, that People's Express in those days was a party. They did a flight after midnight to Miami every hour on the hour out of Newark. What does that tell you?
After midnight.
After midnight. So it started at midnight. So if you were in New York and you ran out of blow, we could be in Miami in an hour out of New York. Just bring enough to take to the airport. That's what they were doing. They were promoting Miami in those days. This is 87, 88. People's Express, they went out of business because yours truly put them the fuck out.
You?
Yeah, because you paid online. You paid on the plane with a credit card.
So what?
Oh.
Are you fucking kidding me? In the 80s?
Just gave him a bad card?
Bad card.
And then you got off scot-free.
And everything, in those days, the flight was $69. Listen, guys, in 1985, it was $69 on People's Express. You didn't make reservations. You showed up at the airport. This was for Puerto Ricans and savages.
You just go there and say, I need a ticket to this place.
They only flew out of Newark and Kennedy. They went to L.A., London, and Miami.
Oh, wow.
That's it. That's it. But they had the best flight to London. So the London flight was $129. Oh, you want a blanket? That's $22. Oh, you want a soda? That's how they got you.
Yeah.
So people would sneak on fucking booze. You know, the same thing kids do. You know, you go on a plane, you get soda. The sodas were $3.
Same thing we all do when we travel now.
So People's Express, so you get on there, the first 2 times, you're like, why am I'm paying with a credit card, on board or cash? So after a while, you're like, fuck, let's go on there with stolen credit cards.
Yeah.
You'd pay on the air. They couldn't even ring them through because they had no fucking
probably...
hi-fi. They had no hi-fi in those days, bitches.
Hi-fi.
Once the word got out,
that word.
Everybody was going on there with expired credit cards, old
credit
really?
Cards.
Just nobody cared no more.
Yeah.
And I think one time in Newark, I even went on without a credit card and tried to muscle them. And they got me off. I told them I left my credit card in the luggage. I thought they were going to do, go ahead, fuck you. They had like 19 people waiting for me in Newark. They made me call Veneria, the Undertaker.
Really?
They can give me a credit card over the phone. Oh, yes, they did.
Oh, wow.
I used to work for a girl who was a flight attendant for Eastern Airlines. And she was talking about the strike. They all went on strike, the flight attendants, and and I was like, what ended up happening with that? She goes, have you heard of Eastern Airlines? Like, we wouldn't bend, they wouldn't bend, and they went out of business.
Eastern Airlines would go from the East Coast all the way down to Miami and Puerto Rico.
Oh, really?
Eastern was
just go east.
Yeah, it was just Eastern Airlines.
Wow.
It was a great airline in the old fucking days.
Pan Am's gone. Eastern's gone.
Pan Am's gone.
TWA's gone.
They even canceled the show, Pan Am. That's how bad Pan Am was.
That's how bad the
fucking
service
Pan
was.
Am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What else? What do you got cooking, Ari? When's the next Storyteller show?
Next Storyteller is August 21st.
All right, what's the theme?
Celebrity stories. You got one?
I said it already.
What, selling coke to Whitney and Bobby? Yeah. That's funny. And then we did it in Montreal.
Okay, who did it?
Oh, you had that girl who was in that.
It was good. We got a bunch of people. It was like 6 days of it. So it was a bunch of people. All just drug stories. Brendan Walsh did one, and Sean Patton, and Kenny Hotz, and I don't know who. It's just everybody. She had 4 people a night, sometimes 5. It was great. This one's Kreischer and Neil Brennan and Stephen Glickman has some story about meeting Snoop Dogg.
I got a story about when I tried to do a bump with Lawrence Taylor.
And what happened?
He told me to go fuck my mother up the ass. But I hit him too early. I hit him when he wasn't coked out.
Oh, you got to get him the right time.
Yeah, I got him when he walked into the bar, and I followed him. Mr. Taylor, he wanted to do a bump with some Colombian. He get the fuck out of here, you white
just some
motherfucker.
guy.
Yeah. If I would have waited till 2, I would have got him like easy.
That's close.
That's what you do.
Later that night.
2. Anybody will do coke with you at 2. It's 8 o'clock when you have it that you think you're bad for the bone. At 2, you'll fucking snort it with your enemy. You don't give a fuck. Give me a line of that shit. You see that monkey open up like a flower?
Like a tulip?
In a Devo video. You know that Devo video? It's a wonderful world we live in when that monkey opens up and you're rubbing, and they want you to finger bang him, but you're rubbing that ass and you're stretching that fucking monkey out. Oh, yeah. Look at Felicia. Her eyes are getting red. She knows Matt Flavor still got his pimp and shit.
It's time.
Yeah.
Matt Flavor, what was I going to say to you? You have to, who's going to divergenize your little muffler?
Who's gonna what?
Divergenize your little muffler.
My muffler?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You said nobody ever gave it to you in the muffler. We have to have.
Oh no, I've never had sex up my butt.
It's time.
I'm holding one orifice for God.
For God.
He's gonna, when you get to heaven, they're gonna ask you, Felicia, you've done all these things.
I know. I'll be like,
we gave you an asshole.
You never got fucked
Why
in the ass.
Why didn't you use it?
And because of that, you're not allowed to enter here. We're gonna send you to purgatory. You gotta go and get fucked in the ass.
You gotta get raped.
Can you imagine that? And when you get to heaven, if you had to get fucked in the ass in your life to get to heaven, and you get there, and Richard Simmons is there, and a bunch of people there jumping up and down, and you get there, and they're like, that's what you get for fucking making fun of faggots and shit.
I'm gonna be pissed. Because I mean, my kids are adopted, and like I never got pregnant, so I was all like, man, I wish I would have had that information when I was 18. I wouldn't have sucked so much cock. You know what I mean?
Today's show is sponsored by Audible.com. Go to audiblepodcast.com/BADB for your free download. All right?
Nobody has time to read an actual book. Just let the author read it to you while you're on the subway or in your car. It's way easier.
And cut the shit. Go to audible.com today, bitches.
Do you like video games? Do you play a lot of video games?
I play some video games.
Yeah, do you? Yeah. But do you really play video games?
I get into them hard where it's like, you're not going to see me for a few weeks.
Oh, really?
And then I have to be like, we can only do this once in a while.
Do you just buy all the DVDs, the videos?
I do that or GameFly.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm getting to.
Oh, nice.
That's how I try to do it. Anyway, our new sponsor is GameFly, and if you go to www.gamefly.com/BEAST, you're gonna get a free BEAST. Beast.
Oh, okay, yeah, Beast.
Beast. You can get a free 15-day 2-disc trial. Thanks a lot, fucking Ari. Thank you. Value. Or you can, there's actually a banner on our website. You can go there.
Gamefly.com/beast.
No, gamefly.com/BEAST.
And get a game. That way, if it's shitty, you just return it.
Yeah. Have you ever bought a game and you were like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
Yeah. Assassin's Creed 2 and 3. It's like, it was ridiculous. Why is this being shoved down our throats? It's terrible. So you go for 2 days and be like, what did I buy? Nothing. Gamefly.com/beast. And then send it right back. Get a new, better game. Have it 2 days later.
There you go.
No one to be mad at.
That's right.
And that's it, Felicia Michaels.
Yeah, do we want to talk about what we have coming up?
Oh, for your Beauty and the Beast shirts and all your Joey Diaz shirts and anything else that we got, go to beautyandthebeastpodcast.com or go to joeycocodiaz.net. So I got a Testicle Testaments, August 29th at the Ice House. Call tickets are going fast, 626-577-1894. And our September dates are online.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. I love you. Have a safe vacation.
Can I say one date?
Yeah,
say whatever you want.
I'll be at Cap City Comedy Club in Austin, Texas in September. September like 12th through the 15th.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a good week. Sons of Anarchy premieres September 11th. So get this shit together, motherfuckers. Nice. Thank you for listening to Beauty and the Beast podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Felicia, throw him a kiss. Ari, you're a fucking savage. My favorite Jew.
It's so hot in here, Ari.
So hot.
It's fucking hot everywhere,
it's
Felicia.
Really hot
it's nobody's fucking fault. The air conditioners are tapping.
Jesus.
We'll see you in a couple weeks, guys. We love you. Stay black. Mwah.